Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to get started today. I want to talk with you guys about a big concept I've been working on and putting together some things and my thoughts on this. I do apologize I haven't been back with a video in a little bit, but I am working on getting better about that. Thank you for sticking in here with me. Thank you for being here. As always, let's do our blessing. Oh, may light and love bless you, my friends, and may you find everything that you're looking for. May you find your answers. May you find your peace, and may the light shine upon you. Okay, my friends, so I wanted to talk to you guys today about overcoming the fear of change. I think change can be something that is so scary for most of us because we get in this space where we identify with our wounds. We start to feel like we are the thing that wounded us or the wound that we have. And then it just becomes so overwhelming and so frightening to even fathom or think about changing. Um, so in that spirit of talking about how change can be scary and hard, I pulled a tarot card for us, just one. And I thought it was a beautiful omen because what I pulled was the Four of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful card of celebration and success and a milestone being met. And I feel like that's a really good omen for us to start out this video with because even if you're stuck in something that you're afraid of changing, even if you feel like it's just something I can't do, it's too big for me, I'm so overwhelmed, even if you feel like that, the magic is here to support you. Any change that you want to make is possible. And I can assure you of that because there have been changes in my life that I thought I would never be able to make. And I have made those changes. And every change that I have made has been another brick that I've built into my life of peace. And so I want to share this with you guys around overcoming fear of change. And we have this beautiful omen of the Four of Wands to start out with. Okay, so overcoming the fear of change. There is this beautiful couple online, and you guys may probably know them, Alex and Leila Hormozi. And they have this concept that they talk about fear. They say that fear is a mile wide and 1 inch deep. And I've been thinking about that concept a lot and how true that is. The fears that we have, they feel so big and so vast, but they're only this deep. They're very shallow. And I was recently at the Great Salt Lake with my husband and just felt such a beautiful power of that place. Extraordinary. If you've never been there, highly recommend it. Um, Beautiful, liminal, almost in between worlds place. It's so cleansing, so beautiful. But I started thinking of this concept that Alex and Layla Hormozi bring up about fear. And it felt like this body of water to me, where we have this, like the Great Salt Lake, it's this massive, huge body of water, but it's very shallow. Um, you can walk into it for a long ways, and it's very shallow. And maybe not the whole lake, but the part that I walked into, that's where I'm drawing the conclusion from. But I started thinking about this. Okay, if the fears that I have are a mile wide and 1 inch deep. What does that mean? How am I interacting with my fear? So that would be the first thing I would like you guys to think about if you want to make a change in your life and you're really scared of this change. Think about how you're interacting with your fear. So something I realized for myself in thinking about how I interact with fear, maybe you'll find this to be the same, is that a lot of the time when I'm afraid of something, I will lay down and roll around in the fear. And if we picture that as water, I mean, you could still drown in 1 inch of water, right? If we're laying down, wallowing in the fear, we're so absorbed in it, we're so obsessed with it. It's the only reality we can find or see. If we're so immersed in our fear, we're not going to be able to get up and walk and move through it. And that is really what is required of us is moving through our fear in order for it to get better. It's not like, The fear never just goes away. It doesn't really just magically, poof, get better. The fear's all gone, just like the Great Salt Lake is poof, gone. It changes, it ebbs and flows. So when we start thinking about our fear as something that is a mile wide, and very shallow, we start realizing this concept that we have to get through the fear. We have to cross it. I don't know if you guys have heard this statement, and I'm not even sure exactly who to attribute it to, but I hear this a lot. The only way out is through. We have to walk through our fear to get out of it, to get to the other side. So when we have those two concepts in mind, I realize that something I'm doing a lot is laying down in the fear, in that shallow water, and rolling around and coughing and choking and drowning on that 1 inch of water. Whereas if you just stand up in the fear, you're breathing pure air then. You're not breathing in the water, you're not breathing in the fear anymore. Yes, you're standing in it. You're standing in the fear and you're walking through it, but you're breathing. And it is much easier to breathe and walk than to be drowning. So that's something I wanted to point out for you guys is if you're afraid of something in your life and you really want this fear to stop, you want this to be different, you want this to change, and you're afraid of that change, you can walk through this fear. And the first step to doing that is to stand up. I did want to point out too that doing something good for yourself can feel uncomfortable and scary. And this is obviously good for yourself. Anytime that you're moving through fear, anytime that you're taking steps to improve, steps to change, steps to grow, it can feel scary. It can feel scary to put yourself out there. And reasons that, it might be especially strong for you is if you have a history of trauma, if you have a lack mindset is another reason. Like I'm not enough. There's never enough. I don't have enough of anything, of finances, of abundance, of myself, of capability. So, doing these things can be especially hard if you have that history of trauma in your past, if you have a lack mindset, if it's new for you to care for yourself. That's, something that was a huge deal in my childhood was we don't take care of ourselves. We only take care of other people. And it's inappropriate for you to take care of yourself and it's wrong. Well, it's not, So I really relate with you guys if you have some of those things going on because it's different to learn to love yourself fully and to learn to take care of yourself fully. So I wanted to point that out that it can feel uncomfortable to you, even if it is good. Even if it is good. There's this saying, I really love the books by C.S. Lewis. There's this part where there's this massive lion in this fantasy book, and C.S. Lewis mentions how he is not safe, but he is good. And that's, I feel like, a really good connection into this stuff when we fear something, when we fear even the good things in our life of change and progress and growth. That's exactly a really good comparison because you can think of that and be like, it's not safe, it's not the same, but it is good. And that's the same thing with you moving through your fear. It's not safe, but it is good. When I was getting ready to do this video and I was taking my notes and talking with Spirit about what to say and what to bring for you guys, I came across this phrase, and the phrase was, love is moving through fear. Love is moving through fear. It's not staying stagnant. It's not staying the same. And I immediately saw this picture of like a toddler, and I have 3 boys. And so maybe those of you who are parents can relate, or if you don't have children, maybe just think of yourself when you were a child. And I saw this really beautiful example of anytime, you have a good parent, a loving parent, and they have a toddler or a young child, and this baby has a fear of something. Like, let's take the classic example, there's a monster in my closet or there's a monster under my bed. And what the parent's role in that is to help the child move through the fear. You don't have a parent who's gonna go, "Yeah, yeah, there is. There's monsters in your closet. There's monsters under your bed." You have a parent who loves that child so much and that they help them walk through that fear. And walking through that often includes, "Okay, it's okay. Let's go look at the closet. Everything's okay. There's no monsters in there. I'm not gonna let any monsters be in our house. We're gonna do, some spiritual cleansing, or we're gonna go into the closet with a flashlight. We're gonna change this for you. We're gonna walk through that fear." And instantly the child is so reassured. When you have an adult in that situation who has helped them walk through the fear. And so what a beautiful picture and metaphor that we have for love is moving through fear, because it really is. We're helping just as we would help a toddler if you're a parent, or a babysitter or a caregiver, just as you would help that baby be like, "It's okay. You've got this. You've got this. Let's go check out the closet. Let's shine a light in there. Let's bless everything with incense or sage." Just as you would do that, you can do this for yourself. And instantly, the comfort that is brought to that child when you go and look in the closet with a flashlight and they realize, "Oh, okay, it was just a coat hanging there that looked really weird and creeped me out," then you see how shallow that fear was. But it took the walking through it and the going to the closet and the shining a light in there or blessing energetically or whatever you did. It took those steps to see how shallow that fear was. You guys, something that's really amazing too that I found is every time that you do that uncomfortable good thing, or you step into that uncomfortable good change. And sometimes I will tell my clients, I call this the hard right thing. Okay. The thing that is absolutely right for you to do, and you know it in your heart, you know it in your soul, you know it's the right thing, but it's still hard. Um, Anytime you do that uncomfortable good thing or the hard right thing, it builds on the life that you really want to have. And what I mean by that is, here we are, right? Let's imagine again the Great Salt Lake. And I'm standing here on one shore and I want to get to the other shore. And you have so much dissatisfaction with where you're standing, right? If you're at one place in life and you want to go to a different place, or that you want to make a change, or you want to grow, or you really want that inside, but it's the thing you're scared to do, so you always hold back, or you always give yourself a reason to not do it. Then you have dissatisfaction in staying in that. And I made a video about this, I'll link it in the description, about being in the in between. That's part of being in the in between and liminal spaces is, I'm here and I don't want to be here, and I want to be here, but I don't know how to get there. So check that video out if you guys need help with that. But my point for this is that every time that you do one uncomfortable good thing for yourself, it's going to get easier and it builds on the life that you really want to have. Because then you're not staying in that same location. You're moving forward bit by bit by bit, just like if you were to walk across the Great Salt Lake. Um, I don't think that that's technically possible, PS, but I mean, you can walk quite a ways in this lake. And just having that visual of like, you know, embracing our fears like this, and, not having this like, "Oh, I want to get out of the fear. I just want to get away from me. I just want it to stop." It's not gonna stop until we walk through. And anytime that you do the uncomfortable good thing or the hard right thing, anytime that you take a step and a step and a step, you're moving, you're changing your location, and you're not in the same place as you once were. And that's excellent because that's moving you into the life that you want to have. On that note, into moving into the life you want to have and the life that you really want to build, and kind of pushing back, pushing through all those things that hold you back or keep you from making the change that you want. On that note, The hardest step is always to start. Starting, it's the hardest step. And once you start to build momentum. So one step at a time, one step at a time. But the first step is the hardest. So I want to assure you guys, if you're just starting on this path of whatever it may be, it could be anything. It could be um, quitting smoking. It could be, I'm super afraid of the dark. It could be, I'm afraid to be alone, or I don't know what my purpose is, or I know I'm not supposed to be with this person anymore, but I don't know what to do, or I want to change, or I want to grow, or I want to learn something new. You can apply this to anything, any concept that you're working on where you're afraid of making a change. Know that it's always the hardest step to start. And, there's a saying by Rumi, which I absolutely love and have clung to this statement for probably 95% of the things I do in life. It is step out on the way, and the way will appear before you. So the hardest step is that first one because your ego's always there taunting you and complaining at you and giving you all these reasons why you should never start. You should never start. You're going to fail. You're going to screw it up. You're going to mess everything up and fail, and the world will hate you and you will die. Right? Right? And the ego mess is just always there in your head. But you know what? When you step out and you take that first step, you will find that the universe supports you. It supports you in every step that you take. And that's why the hardest one is the first one, because when you take that step, before you take that step, your ego's picking on you, and your ego will continue to pick on you through all the steps, right? But that hardest one is the first one because you just have to get the momentum behind you to do it. Okay. So know that, and be reassured of that. I always think that most things are much easier when you kind of know what to expect. And so if you go into this like, I am going to confront my fear of change, I'm going to change my limiting belief about this, and you're expecting that first step to be the hardest, it's going to be much easier because you're going to be like, okay, I've already done this. I've already taken the step. I'm moving towards the next step. Here I go. And you start to build momentum. Knowing that if you guys ever need help to build momentum, to take that first step, or if you need help being supported and you are further down the line of crossing your fear, I'm always here and available. Please check out my website if that's ever something that's of interest to you, lresembers.com. I have just completely redone all of the mentorship stuff on there. So it's hopefully more informative for you guys, more thorough. There's a whole FAQ section on there now you can go check out if there's like something you've always wondered about what mentorship or coaching is like and you'd like to kind of just check that out before talking to me personally. That's absolutely fine. Please go check it out. I would love to help you. I would love to see you through your fear. I would love to help you take the first step. I would love to help you take the 100th step. Wherever you're at in your journey, it doesn't matter. So check that out if you need it. One more thing I have for you guys. When I was talking with Spirit about how to make this video and what to say and what points to bring up to be most helpful, is that you need to support yourself in the uncomfortable. Um, while you're making change, while you're working on overcoming your fear of change, while you're walking through that big salt lake, right? Support yourself in the uncomfortable. And this helps you stick with the change that you're making. It helps you to embrace it. It helps you to integrate the change into all of your bodies, your physical body, your mental body, emotional body, your auric body. It helps you integrate ways that you can support yourself. These might be ways that you already know how to take care of yourself, you already know how to support yourself, or they might be completely new. It's always a good idea to start with ways you can support yourself in the 3D. Um, Drinking water, taking showers or baths, getting enough rest, eating the right food, taking care of yourself, doing something that you really like to do. If you have that history of trauma or you're fresh into believing that you are worth taking care of, that you are valued, and if you're fresh into that thought process of learning how to care for yourself in a new way and truly love yourself, then it might be something brand new that you haven't thought of yet. So give yourself a little trial and error there on like what are the things I like to do? Would I like to go have a coffee with myself or with a friend? Or would I like to go buy myself a new book? Or would I like to journal? Would I like to write something down about how I'm feeling? Would I like to buy a new plant or go sit next to a tree and feel some of that energy? Just be a little bit curious about what you can do to support yourself while you're making these changes, because supporting yourself while you're in this uncomfortable phase is going to be the thing that allows you to stick through. Well, that's what I have for you today, my friends. I'm always and ever thankful for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for checking out the website. I'm so happy to be here on this earth with you guys, and also so excited to be bringing my viewpoint and the way that I see life and the way that I see how the spirit realms connect with our 3D experience. So happy to be bringing this to you guys and bringing value. And I am just so thrilled for each and every one of you that you're here. I send you all blessings and love, and thank you so much. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about, please leave it in the comments. And you go and have a beautiful day and go make change that you want, one step at a time. Just take that first step. And if you ever need help, reach out. Okay? Blessings, my friends.